The title is the title is Logistifying the District Conference.
In the movie Moana, at her deepest point, she cries out to the ocean, "You chose wrong. You made a mistake. Why did you choose me, ocean?" Well, I had that same cry out to the ocean. It's also called, my ocean was called like Leslie LaForty, though. But let me explain where I got to that point and what I learned about it. It was not a good point. So, as I said, as stated in my introduction, I took over on the challenge of both the contest chair and the stage manager for the District 84 conference that just passed. Whew. Well, not the smartest thing, but we did it. So some of the things that I've learned, I've already talked a little bit on a different speech about contest chair. So today I'm going to talk about stage manager. But first, one of the things I had to learn is exactly what is a stage manager. Seems easy enough. Well, it isn't. Okay, it involves everything. The scripts? Yep. Maybe not the food as much. Timing? Yep. What about the weather? No, not the weather. I have no control over the weather, but it's things that we have control over is what I had to learn. I don't have that much power to have aspect of the weather. But one of the things is this project was one of the first times I was leading a major project. And no, that's what an HPL is, but in big time things. So I was over a few different sections. Logistics. Now, logistics is simply putting everything together. What kind of supplies we need, what for timing, the audio visual. Do I really know what audio visual is? And I'll talk about that. And that is just, and well, another thing I was in charge of was herding cats. Yes, herding cats. For those who are not familiar, one of the things that logistics had to do was the dignitary walk and the banner parade. And for those who are familiar, yes, that is herding cats. If not, well, I'll tell you, that's a totally different story. Things that I learned about myself is that I need to work on agendas because I can tend to get off ideas. Oh, wait, have I told you about my cat lately? Oh, wait, sorry. So I tend to go off ideas. So an agenda is keeping me in check. So it's not just for me. It's so everybody knows what we're going to be talking about. And when I do tend to go off topic, usually when my cat arrives, but helps bring everybody back. And I also did learn that at least I feel like it, I did very well on respecting the individuals. Respected their times. I know everybody was a volunteer and really respected times. Another reason I admitted that I respected everybody's times is, well, I get up at 5:30 in the morning and this meeting ended at 9 o'clock at night. So on a school night, I didn't want to stay up too long. So we wanted to keep the meeting moving. Some of the things that I had to learn and where it led me to my Moana point is you sometimes don't know everything you need to know. And that's something on leadership. And that's really hard. On my meetings, they'd be talking about this and be talking about this little dongle and then be talking about the cord of the cord of the cord that goes into the community. And I was just like, I have no earthly idea what they're talking about. But that is a leader for you. It's not, I don't need to learn everything. I have to understand that that is the purpose. Hence led me to my Moana night. Had a meeting and things were going left and right and I lost control. It was 9:30, late. Had to get up the next morning and go to school. And I just sat there and I'm like, the ocean chose wrong. One of my favorite quotes on Moana, somebody choose another. Well, I reached out to my mentor and just total story for the mentors project. And she brought me out instead of grandma coming and bringing her along. For those who know the Moana story, I was brought back. So I had to learn to know that I'm not going to know everything, and I can get by with a little sleep. I that was hard for me. 9 o'clock is, sorry, I know some of you are night owls. That is way too late. And also in the conference itself, you get no sleep. One of the big things I did learn is patience. I tend to be a Diet Coke, and I admit I'm a Diet Cokeaholic, and people who know me, so I tend to want things like this. And not everybody on my committee spoke to the speed that I wanted them to speak to. So it took the okay, sure. So I had to learn that. Would I do it again? Yes. Did I learn a lot about my leadership style? And it obviously pushed me to the brink, but I did survive. One of the big take homes as I've learned is wear better shoes. My golden retrievers were hurting by the end of the meeting. Thank you, Ms. MC.
Thank you, Sue. Now I'd like to turn it over to Charlotte, who is our facilitator. Charlotte, are you still on?
Charlotte, you're muted.
All right, there we go. Sorry about that. Yes, this is a portion of the meeting where we provide evaluations and feedback back to Sue. And please keep your comments to within 30 seconds because we have a short period of time to do this in. First of all, I would like for Susan Schultz, I'd like to call on Susan to give her opinion.
I thought your speech, Sue, was very well organized. You brought us through what the project was, what you did. I like that you gave the Moana quote. For those of us who may not be familiar, you at least shared with us. And I like that you wrapped up with that towards the end. You gave it full circle. I love that you learned something. You did a great job. And we're very happy that you did this for the district.
Thank you, Susan. Vanessa, do you have any words of wisdom for Sue?
I really enjoyed the Sue's speech. Really enjoyed, and I guess I liked the idea at the end that she would do it again. So that was really good. The only thing I'd suggest is perhaps be a little bit further from the camera because we couldn't see any gestures. But very good. Thank you.
Thank you, Vanessa. Would our guest AA like to make a comment?
Thank you. I am a beginner and I was learning. Thank you. It was a nice speech. I could see some hand movements, but it wasn't within the frame. So that was something that I would have expected. Thank you. But I am learning how to be on the screen. I'm sorry, I'm just doing different type of levels to see where I am natural. So if you have any feedback for me, I also appreciate. Thank you.
Okay, we'll keep that in mind. If anybody has any feedback for him, please put it in the chat. Can you access the chat, AA?
Yes, I do. Sorry, my name is Al.
Al, okay. All right, Al. If anybody has anything they'd like to recommend to him, please put it in the chat.
The National Weather Service has issued a severe thunderstorm watch.
Next, I would like to call on Marcy, who's also a guest.
Hi, I appreciate being part of this. I really enjoyed the overall flow of the speech, and I love that you referenced your shoes as golden retrievers. Thought that was really fun.
Okay. We've got a little bit more time. Elizabeth Munn, would you like to provide some feedback?
Yes, I will. I liked, Sue, that you incorporated some humor into your speech. It follows along with what we are supposed to be doing here. And I also, I also admire you for taking on something like this, and you learned a lot. So that's really the whole purpose of taking on a project like this. Well done.
Thank you, Elizabeth. And lastly, Randall Crosby, would you like to provide some constructive criticism?
Thank you. Yes, I do have to repeat that there was a lot of good humor in there. I really enjoyed your use of humor, and I think you showed so much vulnerability. I'm impressed with that, and that's very hard for any of us to do. You really pointed out your shortcomings, maybe where you weren't as successful as you wanted to be, and I liked how you kind of made fun of yourself about the needing more patience. A good illustration. They did not talk as fast as I wanted. That was great voice variety and well done. Thank you. I enjoyed it.
Okay, thank you everybody for your feedback for Sue, and I'll return control of the meeting back to Linda Ramrath.
Thank you, Charlotte.